Hi, I'm JP.
And I'm Adam.
I've never seen Lost.
I have.
I'm told that it's good.
I liked it.
I'm told that it made sense.
Sort of.
But we're watching it out of order.
So it definitely won't make sense.
But it might still be good. Since we won't expect it to make sense, we'll still be able to appreciate each episode on its own merits as a 1-hour story.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
As opposed to just a fraction of an ongoing, sprawling, and increasingly complex tangle of relationships, personal stories, mysteries, mythologies, experiments, social dynamics, unnatural disasters, unanswered questions, and hot tropical hookups.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Because you lost me a little bit there at the end.
Well, good, because I've been lost since the beginning. We're Lost on Lost.
Welcome, everybody, to Lost on Lost. I am Adam Busher, joined as always by JP Russell.
Yo.
Today we are talking about I Do, the 6th episode of Season 3 and the 55th episode overall. Our centric character is Kate Austin. I Do takes place on the 72nd and 73rd day after the crash of Oceanic 815. JP.
Yes.
You got that recap?
I got that recap.
Let that recap roll, homie.
Terrible fugitive, con artist, and taco night hater Kate does the one thing you shouldn't do while on the run. Try to start a family. Meanwhile, on the island, Kate and Sawyer are in a work camp, a social experiment, a monkey cage. I don't really give a shit. But these two idiots are made for each other. Ben needs Jack to perform surgery on him. Jack continues to yell at women. Danny Dadbod shows everyone how much he loves his gun. Oh, and Nathan Fillion's here too. Who the fuck hates Taco Night? Our guest today, an oldie but a goodie, Mr. Carter Wedl.
It's a me. What oldie?
Yeah, because you're old.
Because we know you.
Oh, okay.
And you're old.
Said by literally the oldest person on this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go way back. The three of us went to college together. Back when Lost was on the air.
Yeah. So Carter, tell us a little bit about yourself. Starting with, well, I guess, are you a Lost fan? Did you watch Lost in its original run?
I watched the first season of Lost when it was airing, and then did not see another episode after that because just it went down, and I'm like, no, I'm good. That was nice. Thank you, JJ. Okay. And then I just would see Adam in his Lost shirts. I'd be like, what's that? He'd be like, it's from Lost. And they'd be like, cool. And just walk away.
So, Carter, you just telling us a little bit about yourself. You work in the entertainment industry.
Yes, I am a post coordinator for reality TV. I've worked on cooking shows, shows for Bravo, game shows. Fun.
Okay.
Fun. Nothing
so when it
scripted.
When it comes to this sort of the human drama element of this episode regarding sort of the love triangle, you're going to have to be our expert on this, having worked in reality television.
I got this. I'll bring out those Bravo skills for you, and we'll see what happens.
Good. Bravo. What kind of TV do you still watch nowadays? Like, do you like Lost is a serialized show, and that's kind of part of the gag of this, but do you normally go in for serialized stuff, or do you like to just like episode week by week kind of stories?
I mean, if it's
like, where are you at?
If it's serialized, I mean, really the only thing I consistently watch on TV right now is pro wrestling and stand-up specials on Netflix. Like, that's
the two most opposite things that exist.
Well, I mean, there's a huge market for both of those things. So.
Yes, there are.
Well, and pro wrestling is pretty serialized. Like, if you just pick it up and just start watching an episode, yeah, you'll probably be able to follow along with some of the stuff. But like some of the ongoing drama, I mean, starts, you know.
Oh no, and that's why when we were watching the show, like literally when I'm calling people out, I know I don't have their names at all.
Especially since this is a season 3 episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was even a little lost on this one.
Oh, boy, yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about it, shall we? I Do originally aired on November 8th, 2006. It was written by Damon Lindelof, one of the big Lost guys, and Carlton Cuse, his frequent writing partner. We've talked about them a little bit in previous episodes. This is a name that is the first time gracing Lost on Lost, though. This episode was directed by Tucker Gates. Tucker Gates was a pretty regular maybe not pretty regular Lost guy, but I think he did. What did he do? He did like 7 or 8 Lost episodes, but he's a pretty regular working television director. If people follow television directors, they'd probably recognize his name on the credits of the Bates Motel show, where the kid is, where it's the young what's his face,
Norman Bates.
Yeah. So he's done a whole bunch of that, but he did a bunch of Alias back in the day. He did some of The Office. He did.
Did he do any Night Court?
Night Court?
Yeah.
I don't think he did any Night Court.
Then
He did
I don't give
episodes,
a fuck about his other work.
He did Night Court 6th season, so
Oh,
he did a couple. He did a couple episodes of The X-Files, which is all right.
Okay.
So his name will pop up again in some other episodes we'll run into. But yeah, Tucker Gates, Damon Lindelof, Carlton Cuse. I do. What to say about I do? This episode opens in flashback.
Yeah.
We see our heroine, Kate Austin, in a hotel or something. She's got a box.
what's in the box?
That's literally my first note.
Yep.
I wasn't going to say it because fuck you, but here we are. God damn it. It's also not the first time I've written that as a note for this show.
That's like the fourth note. The first thing is, it's the Wasp, because I forgot that
because you forgot her name and that she was in anything other than Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yes, 100%.
I just want to go on record here that so yeah, she's in this hotel room. She brings out this thing. She opens up. It's a veil for like a wedding dress or whatever, and it's like, okay, this makes no sense already. But then there's a knock and a voice at the door, like, oh, it's the police. Open up. I just want to go on record as saying here that even pretend police harassment is not funny. Like, I know that this was 16 years ago, but like. Nathan Fillion, our guest star, is on the other side of the door thinking he's being all cutesy and cheeky and charming. She cracks it, and they have like a back and forth through the door. She cracks it open. He's standing there all charming and handsome, and he's just like, oh, you want to get it on? And it's like, man, bro, like, there's some problems out here. Like, that shit wouldn't work if Kate was not white.
Yeah, let's talk about how handsome he is. Nathan
That's
Hill.
the only thing we're going to talk about for the next 40 minutes.
I asked to be on this episode because he said that Nathan Fillion was in this episode. Adam gave me a choice of like 3 different episodes. I'm like, oh, Nathan Fillion? Yeah, I'll do that one.
I also secretly hoped that you wanted to do this one because Carter and I also in college were both wedding DJs, and I have some wedding-related questions later.
I didn't know that was getting brought up, but I'm excited for it.
Nathan Fillion is very good looking, and he has the nicest post-sex hair I've ever seen.
Oh
it
my
is perfectly
God.
coiffed, not a hair out of place.
Oh, dreamy.
It's because I imagine that in this world, Kate is having sex with him, and her hands are just doing the raise the roof motion because she's very excited to be sleeping with Nathan Fillion.
So she never grabs on and just ruffles
Yeah,
his
with his
hair.
hands above her head, raising the roof the entire time. Nathan Fillion, for those of you who don't know, you probably recognize him as
Castle?
Johnny Donnelly from Two Guys and a Girl, right?
Oh yeah,
that's where you guys know him from.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow, that is the deepest cut. I mean, it had Ryan Reynolds in it, but that's still a deep damn cut. Ryan Reynolds was one of the
Never
two
heard of him.
guys.
I swear to God, if you were going to say Titus one more time, I was just going to end the call.
Oh my God, I wish so hard. Oh man, no! Everybody knows Nathan Fillion from either Castle or Firefly.
Yeah, he's been in a million. I mean, he's been a guest star on every show you can imagine.
He was Buffy.
He's a great character actor. Just
Yeah. And part of it is like he is a very charming dude, like on camera at least. Like say what you will about his the rumors and stuff that came from the end of Castle. Like, on camera, he's incredibly charismatic. He's incredibly handsome.
Yeah.
You can't look away from him.
Right.
Like, Captain Tight Pants, you have my heart forever kind of thing.
You could get lost in those baby blues.
So you guys are going to refer to him as Nathan Fillion throughout the show, but this character's name is Kevin Callis.
I don't give a shit. It's Nathan Fillion.
But that, like, so, like, it's Kevin, and he's like, they're in their post glow or whatever. I can't remember the first time he says it, but like, he's like, "Oh, I love you, Monica," and we're all like, "Wait, what?" Her name's
I have that note.
Kate.
Who the hell is Monica?
So this is what I thought, but in between the hotel sex and the veil and the Monica thing, my first thought was, I was like, 100% no way Kate actually goes through with this wedding.
Oh, no. Right,
That was the first. I was like,
I thought she was going to make a run
happening.
for it because she was looking suspicious as hell the moment you see her. She's got shifty eyes, is looking behind her. I'm like, oh, she's going to make a break for it.
Yeah.
Listen, if there's one reason she should have ran from the get-go, let's talk about that engagement ring, okay? How deep was the setting on that thing, okay? That's not a goddamn class ring. It's supposed to be an engagement ring. If a guy comes up to you with that, he's not the one. You walk away. You just walk away.
Princess cut or better.
Exactly.
Look,
Thank you.
He's MDPD. I mean, like, he's probably not loaded. Like, you know, he's a guy on a working cop salary.
And he's a
you know?
patrolman. He's got his car in front of the house. He's a uniformed officer.
That's a take-home car.
He's not. It's a take-home car.
Did he get it from the fucking jewelry Gashapon? No.
It was another hand-me-down piece of jewelry from his mother.
Oh, we're gonna fucking get to that, Carter.
I have a note about that. Yeah.
Get to that.
Well, but so color me surprised anyway. She goes through with it, right?
Yeah.
And so we have this scene where, and I didn't know this. I had to look it up. Her name's Suzanne, is the mother-in-law. She wanders into the thing. Kate's looking all, beautiful and bride. She's got the thing on and everything. And
very early 2000s wedding dress. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
okay.
corset.
All right, we're getting
and,
into. Hold on. No, fuck that dress. Okay, what?
It screams 2005, 2006.
On top of Carter and I both being wedding DJs, JP, you've done like 1 million videographer gigs for weddings?
Yes. Like, what? It's strapless, but it looks like it's two different pieces. Like it's fucking suit of armor.
It is a straight up corset.
Whoever was putting the lace on it died before they could finish, because it's just like, it's not even asymmetrical. It was a thought that was never finished. Fuck that dress.
Why is the bottom so slim and narrow? Again, that screams early 2000s.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing that bugged me about it. Suzanne, the mother of the bride, comes in, and they have just the nicest relationship, and Kate's all like, "Oh, mother-in-law's supposed to be mean, blah, 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 blah." And Suzanne's like, "No, I love you," and whatever. And so, "Here, check this out." And she gives, in a wedding tradition, give her something old, gives her a piece of jewelry, gives her this beautiful gold
Theoretically
necklace.
borrowed.
Yeah. All of Kate's other jewelry is silver. Just one more thing that doesn't match upon this.
Thank you.
Yes, she hands her a gold necklace. Like,
Also, how did Kate not have a necklace for the day of her wedding?
It's a strapless dress, and she just gave her a statement piece necklace? No.
She would have had something already. It would have been silver. It would have been dainty.
Yes.
It would have looked lovely.
Yes.
But here comes this big compassy looking motherfucker strapped to a chain. And it's like
this fucking Flavor Flav-esque medallion on her chest. Exactly. There's no way that real estate on wedding day is empty. From the top of her bust to her veil, nothing happening there. Give me a break. That whatever was going to be draped across Kate's thin collarbones would have been pre-selected months ago.
Right. Yeah. Or let's just leave it to be plain and not, I don't know, pick up some rinky-dink piece of whatever that means nothing to you last minute that doesn't go with any of the rest of your fucking outfit.
I did not anticipate the three of us being this heated about this.
Welcome to our new podcast, Three Unmarried Men Dunk on Weddings.
we're oddly qualified to do it, though. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hell, I've ran a wedding DJ company for a minute.
But the wedding comes off. The priest says something very conspicuous about Kate's honesty.
Yeah, that's weird.
And she already is shifty eyes. That's why I'm thinking she's gonna be like, okay, we're at the coming to the I do part. I don't.
So in a rehearsal, normally you would walk through kind of some of this stuff, and you would not. The bride and the groom aren't really. They're not going to be surprised by what the officiant says. Generally,
Right.
the officiant, it keeps them abreast of what's going to be part of the ceremony. So somewhere in the rehearsal process, Kate, I gotta imagine, had heard this bit about the priest laying down the honesty trip.
You would hope so.
And she was just like, fine. Yep, fine.
When but I think what Carter, what you were getting at there is really telling, because everything in her body language and everything, even from you who's never watched the show and know nothing about this character, you got a beat on her really quick that like, ooh, she seems real flighty, like she's out of here in just a matter of seconds. But she goes through with the wedding and they get married. But that feeling of her needing to get out doesn't stop. The marriage doesn't make it better.
Yeah.
She goes out of her way to call her pursuer, and we get another appearance of U.S. Marshal Super Cop Edward Mars.
We get a scene where the director of this episode just handed them the actors a copy of Catch Me If You Can, and said, just do this scene with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Just do that.
Dude, I 100% wrote that. I have that written here. I was like, how does Edward Mars know so much about Kate? Like, is this a Catch Me If You Can kind of... Do they have, like, the Frank Abagnale relationship? Like, this is, like... From what I can tell, they shared a car ride together one time. In which, that was when Kate slipped his grasp. How does he, like, I know you. You can't settle down. You what? Fuck off.
Also, again, how does Kate have his phone number? It's like you're a creep.
She just calls the Marshal Service and she's like, "Hi, can I speak to Marshal Edward Mars, please?" It's Kate Austin. He knows who I am.
That is some serial killer bullshit where it's, hey, I'm the one you're chasing. Can you find me? No, because I set a timer and I've hung up. Even though, for all I know, the technology's advanced since the last time I called you.
Timer in her purse. Why? She was like, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to pick up some groceries for taco night, and I got to give Edward Mars a call, so I better make sure to bring my egg timer with me.
No, but she was definitely getting tunnel vision in that call, so the fact that she had something to, like, snap herself out of it, I was like, that's not a bad move. It's very specific, but, like...
I was more confused when that started, because she was on her 2000s flip phone. First off, the minute she flipped it open, it should have just started. I don't know why she hit answer, but I was very confused. I'm like, why is she going to a payphone? She clearly just has...
You would know this if you were a fugitive.
That's what I'm saying. She clearly had a cell phone, and I'm like, who the hell would she... Why is she calling someone on a payphone? This doesn't make a lick of sense. And then it was, the minute she pulled out the timer and wound it, I'm like, oh, now I know what she's doing. Got it.
We've seen this guy a couple of times before in other episodes, and yeah, he's like arguably the worst cop ever.
No, I would argue Dreamy McNathan Fillion is the worst cop ever. That they got to the point of marriage and he didn't do a background check and go, Monica, you don't show up in any system.
Yes. What? Thank you. Thank you.
He has a precinct computer at his house and doesn't think to, Monica Smith. From, where'd you say you were from again, honey? Okay. And I've got your driver's license. And I've got your driver's license. This person didn't exist before 1998. What is this?
Not it's even. Like, her alias has got to be like a year old at that point.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Oh, my God.
I didn't even think of that. That's fucking hilarious.
For a hookup, you don't go that deep in. But you just married her and you didn't know this? Nathan Fillion. Step it up before Castle.
We've had like 3 cops on this show have lines, and I think not. You bring up a good point, Carter. I think that they're tied for the worst cops ever. Edward Mars, Ana Lucia Cortez, and Kevin Callis. These 3 fucking suck at their jobs.
Yeah, it's not good.
The real thing that irritated me about the end of the call, she the timer goes off and she hangs up and she's like, oh God, she almost gets bagged. She could not she could not have thought that was gonna work.
Right.
Hey, like,
Leave me alone, bro.
just stop chasing me. I know that I'm wanted for murder, but like, I don't want to run anymore. And I was waiting for her to be like, so I'm willing to turn myself in. Oh no, I just want you to stop chasing me.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
This isn't going to enamor the marshals even more to want to catch me.
If anything, now they know I'm not running. Cool.
Right.
What I'd like to see is somebody be like, oh, I gotta make one of these style of phone calls, but the payphones aren't a thing anymore. So they go into a Walmart and they'll be like, yeah, give me a track phone and 25 cents worth of minutes.
Give me 1 egg timer's worth of minutes.
Oh man, so he twists the knife a little bit. He's like, yeah, I'll stop chasing you if you can actually stay put.
Right.
And I'm like, you got to know she's not going to go for that, right? Like, you got to know that that's going to make her run if she wasn't already thinking of it. Like,
Yeah.
Edward had started the trace. He nodded to another marshal to start tracing his line, just like.
But this also felt like they've had this call before, so you would think even he would know, oh, she's got the timer set up. I hear it ding. I'm not going to get a trace on her.
That'd be funny if you could hear it in the background of the phone call, just tick, 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 tick. He's like, is that your egg timer, Kate? And he's like, yeah, it's my egg timer.
No,
is that the egg timer that I bought you in Jacksonville? Yeah.
No, it's taco night. I got to make sure I don't burn the ground beef.
So the phone call, the phone call's over. And we know she's got to bail. If she didn't know it then, she knows it now. And so she goes back to the thing, back to her house. And she's probably gonna have a baby, she thinks. So she's taking a pregnancy test, and it ends up being negative. And so it's like, oh, thank God.
Wait, it was negative? I thought I saw both lines for pregnant.
I don't remember. I'd have to.
No, it was definitely negative. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I actually had to rewind it as well.
Because doesn't she then go on to say like, I almost had a baby when she's like confessing
I just
to
thought that
Right.
meant she got
Officer
a
Fillion?
smish smortion.
Well, let's.
I
know there's-
legitimately thought that was what had happened. Was she's like I was gonna have your baby.
Gotcha.
Oh,
I see what
no,
you're saying.
You got pregnant and okay.
Sure. Okay, that would also make sense. So I know there's a little scene where they talk about, you know, going on a honeymoon. We can assume she doesn't have a passport. That's not a big deal.
right.
I want to jump to this when she starts her confession. There is no foreplay in this. It is, well, what if I was a fugitive? There's no like, I have something to tell you. I love you very much. It is just.
Well, and my thing was, why doesn't he go, oh, you with the jokes and the
Right.
You know, there wasn't like if that had been there, I'd be like, okay, and then no, dumbass, I'm a man on the run. No, he was
Right,
just
'cause,
straight.
like-
You can't be. It's like
Because
bitch,
he
you
did the
don't
whole
jump
like
there.
Right, he did the whole like, oh, I'm a cop at your door. I've got a warrant. Haha, this is silly. Like, we're a silly couple. So I thought she was gonna do the I'm a fugitive. He's like, I'm a cop.
And he's like,
That's-
all right,
Yeah.
let's get it on.
But no, it was like, I'm a fugitive. I just drugged you. We have 15 seconds to have this conversation before we never see each other again.
Maybe she had like a big opening for it. She was like, okay, I know what I'm gonna look, Kevin, here's the thing. Like we you know, you fell in love with me, but I'm not who you think I am. Like and she had like this whole like flat out thing, but then she was like, oh, hey honey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just working on some fugitive shit. And she's like, oh, that's way easier.
Thanks for setting that softball up, Nathan Fillion.
Cut right to the chase. Here, drink this drink.
Drink the drink.
We're gonna
And he's
fast track
like,
this.
I love
Also,
this drink.
those drugs kicked in real quick. Like
Yeah.
he took.
Why do you know
a
how quick
sip.
drugs work, Carter?
I'm saying he took a light.
JP brings up
sip.
an excellent point, Carter. Why do you know that? Why does that seem like fast? Is it too fast for you? Is like what? Do you wish you would have had those drugs?
Listen,
what's happening?
I have sleeping issues. I've experimented with things like melatonin and marijuana. I'm just saying. I don't think. I've also taken just an aspirin that can't kick in that quick from a little sip. Good lord.
That's because you got to crush aspirin up and put it in an Arnold Palmer. That will happen immediately.
That's why
like,
Arnold
the-
Palmer
oh, the
lives so
relief.
long.
I learned. I learned now. Thank God for education.
In this, I just wanted to make a quick mention here. Nathan Fillion, in an excellent moment of costume design for the area. This flashback is set in Miami, and he's wearing a Miami Heat t-shirt. When I was a freshman in college, I used to party with Dwyane Wade, who was with.
Oh my God! This again? You did that? You did not.
I was
party. You were at a party that he was leaving from.
No, 2008 NBA MVP Dwyane Wade. I partied with him. I was at a party. He came in from after a game, the Marquette Golden Eagles, back when they were the Golden Eagles.
They're still the Golden Eagles.
Whatever. And he was there, and I was partying, and he was partying, so we partied together.
Do you two need a minute? You guys get...
I've been having this conversation with his dumb ass since 2006. And then every time, that's not... It's like when you tried to do a sneak attack, running around a building, yelling, sneak attack. That's not how that works.
The best part about that Dwyane Wade anecdote is that 2 years after I started telling you that anecdote, I got to add 2008 NBA MVP to that anecdote. He wanted,
we're aware.
Man, you two quarrel almost like a pair of old lovers that are trapped in animal cages together.
If that's not rolling through like a segue,
you mention
I don't know.
JP, I feel like there's a couple of other quarreling lovers trapped in some cages in this episode. What do you say we talk about what's happening on the island?
Très bizarre.
Here's the thing. I remember back to when the show was airing and overhearing things about love triangles and Jack and blah blah blah. So the whole lead into this, I'm thinking that the Wasp is with Party of Five, and that is not the case. The fact, because I was like, they're lovers. But they're good. I was legitimately confused. I'm like, isn't she with the doctor? I thought she. So they may be mistaken about who she's actually banging. No, and then later in the episode, there's no mistake about who she is banging. Not one second. And
Didn't you listen to the intro to the show? Hot Tropical Hookups, Carter. God damn.
Tropical Hookups, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kate and Sawyer are in these cages. Who knows how they got there? But Sawyer's bummed, man. Granted, I would be bummed if I were in a cage, but he seems extra bummed. Like something else is on his mind beyond being in a cage. He's cool hand Luking
it, literally, throwing things at the wall in his cage.
Yeah.
It cuts into interior of some sort of facility. We found out later in the episode that it's the same where he's nearby Kate or whatever. But Jack is there with Ben. They're looking at some X-rays. Ben's sick. He's got some sort of tumor, something. And Jack's like, you should have been in surgery yesterday.
I couldn't tell whether this was a flashback or if this was current time, just from the way that Jack treats Ben, because he's like, I just want you to understand how you're gonna die. And I'm like, I feel like Jack's had that approach with a lot of his patients in the past.
Which brings me to the point I want to make. Jack's a shitty doctor.
Very, very shitty.
Do no harm is like the first line. It's the first line of the Hippocratic Oath. It's like the thing that like everybody makes a big deal out of it when you're becoming a doctor. Like most doctors are drawn to becoming doctors because they want to help people. Every time Jack has an opportunity to help someone, 90% of the time there's some sort of strings attached to it. He's like, I'll help you if you do this, or I'm not gonna help you because you're an asshole. You're a shitty doctor.
Hey guys, what's the Hippocratic Oath for wedding DJs? Is it do that charm?
No, it's fuck bitches get money.
Right. Yeah.
I always thought it was play that funky music, white boy. There are different schools of thought.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me just like tag that with like, granted, this is heightened circumstances. Jack is obviously some sort of captive or something like that, but still, like his impulse, like you would think his first impulse would be to want to help him, but it's not. He's like, let this fucking guy die.
Right.
Quick question. Danny and his running crew, have you seen them before this episode? Because the minute they walked up and I wrote it down, I said, these guys look like sex offenders. And then it was, they seem really familiar. but angry, and I couldn't figure. I'm like, is there
I'm
info
sure that they-
I'm missing here from
Yeah.
Danny?
I mean, you're watching a show
McAngry
out of
Pants?
order. Yeah.
I'm sure that Danny and his security crew factor into this whole little mini arc with the cages and Ben's tumor and all of this stuff that's going on. But no, we have not seen them as of yet in the podcast. But yeah, we see Danny. He goes and fishes Kate and Sawyer out of their cages and takes them to some sort of work camp. And like Kate doesn't want to leave Sawyer alone. Sawyer's all brooding and angsty. But like Kate is like, I'm not leaving without him. And so they go together. And so they go off to this work camp. And there's a bunch of people working there. There's like a bunch of people we don't know. We know Danny's there and like whatever. I want to do a quick trivia thing here. Carter versus JP.
Okay.
What are they building?
A trebuchet, the superior siege weapon.
Carter?
I had no idea. I just know you were happy to watch white people making it.
The correct answer would have been Holiday Inn Express. We also would have accepted Fiji bottling plant.
I legitimately was confused watching this, going, so they're breaking rocks.
Join the fucking
what
club,
the
man.
fuck
I don't
are
know
they doing?
what's going on either.
Are
Yeah,
they minors, or...
for this show, we were all comfortable, like, oh man, we watched a lot of season 1 and 2 stuff where things were simple, and now all of a sudden we just jumped to season 3, and I'm like, oh fuck, there's a lot that I'm missing right now.
God, at this point, we've done this is our third season episode. We did The Man Behind the Curtain a while back. So it's like, every time we come up to a season 3 episode, I think we're going to feel the same. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? But so like, and to pile on top of the confusion, fucking Alex the Menace comes flying in. Like they get some sort of alert, like, she's through the perimeter. Oh, get down! The fucking trees are talking. And then Alex comes. Like
Fortunate Son starts playing.
I'm expecting her to come in dual wielding AR-15s and just.
The way they were losing their shit, I was expecting 10 people with guns.
Yeah,
but no, Alex comes in with a fucking slingshot. But she fucking headshots a couple of people.
Yeah,
but she just goes up against a dude with a gun,
pop,
and doesn't flinch.
No joke, she handles it, and like she's deadly accurate. She's surgical with that slingshot.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And she shrieks at something before she gets like apprehended or whatever. She starts shouting at Kate and Sawyer.
Don't believe him.
Yeah. She's got this hot tip here. You shouldn't trust them. Oh, the people that are keeping us in cages and forcing us to work and build some sort of mysterious structure, we shouldn't trust them. Oh, thanks for the hot tip, Alex. We're safe.
Also, why, if you got out of this clear hellscape and you're that angry, did you come back? Is she looking for someone who's now dead? What? I don't know who this person is.
Oh yeah, her boyfriend. She says something about, they killed my boyfriend. I think she's looking for vengeance.
Right. Well, and like, so at this point, especially for us, we're like, oh wait, which guy is she talking about? Is she talking about Sawyer or is she talking about Jack? Because both of the men that she is interested in or has had sort of relationship stuff with, you're right, exactly, are both being held captive. So it's like, wait, who's actually in danger here?
Because we see Sawyer in a cage, so I know for sure that he is in trouble, and then it cuts to Jack, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure who gonna die today.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting symbolism, because it's like Sawyer's kind of in this like lion animal cage, and Jack is in this like lab rat sterile glass sort of like observation thing. It's just interesting juxtaposition.
The stupid glass, like that's actually like the one kind of like poignant moment that I kind of liked is when they bring Kate in to like coerce Jack into helping Ben. Like you can see he wants to touch her but he's trying, so like he kind of doesn't know what to do with his hands, and that's like for a brief second there I was like, oh, that's actually kind of sweet. Like he he needs to reach out, and she reciprocates. But then I was also like, but fuck you too.
Yeah, all three of the principal characters from our main cast, I'm just like fucking done with all three of these jokers. God damn it. I did expect, like, when she explains to him, like, yeah, if you don't do this, they're gonna kill Sawyer, I just expect him to kind of be like, I can live with that.
Whatever.
Like,
No, and he
Just
he flat out says
that Donald
sorry,
Glover
you're gonna
gift.
die.
Good.
yes, exactly that. Good.
Oh fuck yeah! And so, but like Jack's like, I'm not doing not like no, like he gets all mad and he does it up at the camera. He's like, we're done here, and like tells her to leave and whatever. But then so she goes back out into her cage or whatever.
Which, by the way, those are some shitty fucking cages.
Oh my God.
Because let me just say, like, she's not
ease at
really
which she
struggling to get out of that thing.
Yes.
It's not the easiest to go over the hole, but it's possible. Especially if you can
she made it
bendy.
look easy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure
she made it look pretty
like,
easy.
Jack or Sawyer could have also gotten out of that cage.
Yes.
Right.
Like, I couldn't have, and Danny sure as hell couldn't have, but like, you two both could easily escape those cages.
It's the Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like, you could have gotten out of these handcuffs whenever you wanted.
No. Only when it was funny.
Yes. Exactly.
But yeah, so she's like, that's it, I'm out of here, I had it. And she climbs out of the thing, she goes over, she's like, I'm busting you out, Sawyer. And she gets in there, and we finally find out why Sawyer was so broody at the beginning. He lays it on her, the big reveal. He's like, it's not gonna matter, you know. And she's like, why won't it matter? And he's like, we're not on our island, we're on a different island. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, a second island? What?
You want to know what I noticed that bugged me in this episode? She hits it the first time, the lock, with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
It opens. It opens
Right.
on her first damn swing. She continues to swing at the thing. It cuts back, and no, it was already open. She got it on the first shot. Why is she still hitting the damn thing?
What would be your immediate reaction to receiving horrible news? Like, not only were you lost, but now you're even more lost than you thought you were, because you're not even in the place you thought you were in.
Rage?
Probably hungry.
Yeah, you know,
Not
those are
horny
it's
isn't your
it's one of
answer?
those three. It's rage, hunger, or let's doink. Let's fucking get it on.
That's
Well, here's
Maslow's
the thing.
hierarchy of needs right there.
If you know that you're both going to die tomorrow, why not knock them boots today?
This puts fucking, I think Sawyer's at the top of the body count list. Like, this is the second hot tropical hookup that Sawyer's had in like as many episodes,
Yeah.
because he just hooked up in the last episode we watched.
But how does he hook up with her after the pet name that he chose for her, which he yells twice, is Freckles? Do not call an adult woman Freckles under any circumstances.
Any circumstances, regardless of how freckly she is.
Right.
And
Like,
she's not even all
no,
that freckly.
just
Let's be
no.
real.
No.
But obviously Sawyer's like the king of the inappropriate nickname. Every time he gives one out, it's either racist, misogynistic, fatphobic. It's never a nice nickname.
No. It's just, I forgot your name, and this is what I see when I look at you.
The most sad part about the dirty cage hookup is that Jack's in the process of escaping. We don't know who helped him. Probably, it sounds like Juliet on the other end of the radio, but we don't get confirmation there.
Right.
But he's
I
getting
thought
out.
it was
He goes in.
Slingshot Girl, honestly.
Oh, it could have been Alex. Yeah, it
Yeah.
could have been Alex for sure. But so Jack's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm out," and he wanders past this room. He sees a bunch of TVs and he sees a gun cabinet. He takes a pistol.
Why only
and
one?
leaves 3 rifles.
Yeah.
I was like,
He
take
takes
a rifle
a
too.
pistol.
One pistol, no extra ammunition, just, nope, this is it. This is all I need.
It's like you've seen
and-
people, you know there are a lot more armed dudes, and you're
Right.
trying
And if
to
you
escape.
think if you think you might go like bail out Sawyer and Kate, bring them a gun too. Like,
Yeah,
give me-
you can put two
whatever.
in your waistband and have one in each hand, and guess what? That's better than just look at this Ruger that I got. And
It's a Walder, actually.
well, I don't know guns. I'm just saying they picked up one that looked like it was from World War II. Meanwhile, I've seen Danny's gun, And that looks fairly contemporary, comparatively.
That's Beretta, I think. But here's the thing. Even if you're not 100% sure what you're going to do, like, he grabs a gun and then he sees on the TV that Kate and Sawyer are boinking out in the cages. Like, he could have then been like, okay, well, I'm not going to bail him out and then leave the guns behind and just kept his own gun. But as he's watching him get it on, Ben wanders in and gives him a little, I would have thought she would have went for you. And he's all, like, manipulative and hilarious, and I love him. But he's like, Jack, and so this is the big fuck you to Kate and Sawyer from Jack. Jack's like, all right, you know what, I'll do the surgery, but you got to get me off this island. You got to get me and my friends out. He's like, I need to leave. And I'm like, all right, bud, here we go. He's getting a little vindictive.
And I'm going to tell everyone that I swam back on my own.
He says he'll do the surgery, and that doesn't sit well with Danny Pickett. Oh, this fucking irritated me. They're getting ready to do the surgery. Another instance of a person asking a question and then receiving a fucking monologue in response instead of an answer. Jack's like, just do as I say, you know, during this. Can you do as I say during the surgery? And she's like, actually, I actually know how to follow orders. And he's like, is that a yes? Like, Julia, why do you have to be so smart? Like,
my question was, why is he asking her that? Because she clearly has a more vested interest in saving his life than Jack does. So why are you... Yeah, she's going to do what you tell her to do because she doesn't want her boo thing to die.
Just saying that the excuse that I'm good at following orders, isn't that what the Nazis said during the Nuremberg trials?
Thought that same thing. Juliet's a Nazi.
Well,
you heard it here
first. She
first.
is blonde hair and blue-eyed. She is their dream.
She's got good Aryan stock.
No, my ears just threw up hearing you say that.
In all seriousness, I love Elizabeth Mitchell. She's a phenomenal actress, and I love seeing her on the show. She was a breath of fresh air when she joined, and I loved every episode that she was in. But so Jack and Juliet start doing surgery on Ben. Ben's like, my life's in your hands or whatever, or whoever says it, but like Pickett's like he's putting his life in one of their hands, and so he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go outside and kill Sawyer.
Well, my other thing was, as I was looking around, how did they not have anyone manning the anesthetic? You're letting the guy who you already don't kind of trust.
Right.
Bless his heart.
There's
no
anesthesiologist in that. That's a position because it's not. You have to have somebody doing it to make sure that they stay asleep during the surgery. Jack can't perform surgery and do anesthesia at the same time.
Like, yeah, he can tell him count back. I got no problem with him. But he gets him set up, and I'm like, that's not how anesthesia works. I know for a fact there is a guy who would be there manning the levels. They make so much money because it's also a very high risk job because you can easily kill someone
or wake them up accidentally in the middle of a surgery and then they're in intense pain.
Oh no. But if it's going to happen to anybody, let that happen to Ben.
Let it happen to Ben. Yeah, Pickett wanders out to the cages to whack Sawyer, but then Jack's big bad plan, oh man, he's got him by the fucking kidney sack here. He nicks it open, and he's like, all right, Ben's going to bleed to death in an hour. Give me that radio. Yeah. I'm in charge now.
He's also an ass kicker because he nicks it. One of the other random extra dude is like, should he be bleeding that much? And he's like, nope. Punch. And I'm like, I kind of like that you didn't try to make something sound cool. You were just, nope. Boom.
I do also want to say that that when Pickett? When Pickett is about to execute Sawyer, there's this whole like, what are you doing here? And I'm gonna kill him. Right? Which looks fantastic. But he says something to the effect to Kate that there's nothing you can do about it. At which case, Kai, my girlfriend from a previous episode, all the listeners know, leans over to me and says, unless she has an oven.
I don't get that reference.
Oh, Kai Warner was our guest for the season 2 episode What Kate Did, in which we find out that the way she killed her father was to blow him up with an oven.
Right. So, hand-to-hand combat, not her thing. She need to kill a guy with an appliance.
Boom!
Kate's who you go to. Oh, just because she also does not like Kate, and I want to just say this. Her quote was, "This show is just purgatory that exists in Kate's vagina."
I mean, she's half right, isn't she? Isn't that the thing on this show?
Yeah,
Isn't
she's
that the
mostly
gimmick?
right. I'd say like 80% right, probably.
And I was just like, you should probably be the host of this show because you're funnier than me.
Oh God. We had a brief glimpse at MC Gainey, who is another Con Air star.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I love that actor. And we'll see him a lot more later. He plays a guy named Tom. What else? Pickett says something about this is for Colleen when he's gonna whack Sawyer, but then he gets prevented from killing Sawyer by the radio play. Jack's like, he sets it up so that he's like, tell me the story about this from the beach when Kate was stitching Jack up back in the pilot. He told her about the girl and the counting to 5 and the letting the fear and all that stuff. So she's gonna tell him that story when he get like, okay, this is awesome. Good.
What if he was like, do you remember the story? And she was just like, no, really, I wasn't listening.
Nah, man, that was 2.5 months ago, and a lot of shit has happened since then.
You fucking ramble a lot,
I don't know if
Jack.
you know this, Jack, but we were in a plane explosion. That day, I may have had a concussion, so memory's not too good.
Also, that story might have been interesting to you, but not to anybody else.
Jack, I also told you when my birthday was, and you forgot it. So, whatever.
This is why I'm banging
He just
Sawyer.
like screams into the radio. This aggravated me so much. How loud he was into the just screaming into the walkie-talkie's not helping. Like,
No.
She can turn that
Run,
volume
Kate,
down. She's
run!
got a knob.
Anyway, so he gives them, or gives Kate specifically, about an hour head start to try to escape.
Yep. And that's where the episode ends, with Jack's crazy screaming face. Run, damn it, run!
Hard cut to black.
So there's one like last interesting thing I want to mention about this episode before we talk about the missing pieces. Back when season 3 aired, this was the final episode of sort of like a 6-episode mini season because they took a 13-week hiatus after this episode aired.
No shit.
Why'd they take?
Yeah. So
why?
I can't remember. I think part of it had to do with there was some cast contract stuff that had to happen. And there was some other stuff, but I think they put in a mid-season show here as well. Like this aired in what did I say, November or something like that. They didn't come back on the air until like late February. So like there's like for that to be that last moment of this episode is kind of like the big cliffhanger of this little 6-episode thing. So
do you know? Did like the audience know that there was going to be a big break like that?
I can't remember.
That's pretty wild.
They did do some like teasings throughout that gap, like they did something called Lost Moments or something where they'd show just like little short clips of like stuff to keep the interest up and stuff like that. I mean,
sure,
it's one of the ABC's most popular shows, so they weren't worried about losing viewers at that point.
Right.
But this long gap here had to be a contributing factor to sort of the lack of cohesion in season 3. From a story point, like a lot of people had a lot of problems with this. Like they were just kind of like they were all over the place. They didn't know how long they were going to be on. Maybe in this delay, they also started giving ABC the ultimatum about, hey, we don't want to be on forever. We need to be able to set an end date at some point. Sure,
yeah. Especially with how large your primary cast is. I mean, to lock up all those actors for even 6 seasons is, that's
yeah,
no small feat.
I mean, and it only got bigger here. We didn't even talk about the funeral scene, but there's like 2 scenes of like the rest of the survivors.
I had no clue other than someone being dead what was going on in those scenes.
We see at a corpse, baby John Locke, sweet baby boy John Locke. And a handful of people that we don't really know that well. Desmond is there. Nikki and Paolo are there. Saeed is there.
I literally when John picks up the cross, I just wrote down, did John Locke just find God? But then he didn't, because let's face it, John Locke is God. Saying it.
Well, he 100% made the funeral about him, which is pretty fucking rude. But
yeah, I'm
whatever.
fucking fine with it though. I don't give a shit.
But that scene was relatively meaningless, I think.
Yeah.
The meaning that the audience would cull from that would actually probably be the episode prior to this, where I would assume that we see Echo die.
That would be weird
if
it's just, they stumbled upon a random dude's body. Because is Echo an important... I honestly don't know. That could be an extra who... Yeah,
Echo joins,
Echo over there.
Echo joins the cast in season 2. He's one of the tailies.
We've seen him before on this podcast.
Yeah, but he did not make it into deep into season 3. Part of the reason was the actor Adewale did not want to stay in Hawaii as long as it would have taken to be on the show, so he requested to be written out of the show.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this show, because so much of it is filmed in Hawaii, it's not like Los Angeles where people can jump from show to show to show and fill in times when they're not on other things. It's like, no, you're in Hawaii. You are fucking stuck there.
Let's go ahead and talk about our missing pieces real quick.
Yeah.
The missing pieces aired on phones and ABC.com in the weeks leading up to season 4. The missing piece that we're going to talk about today is called Arzt and Crafts. It is the 7th of 13 missing pieces to drop. Our centric character in this episode is Leslie Arzt. Arzt and Crafts takes place on the 7th day after the crash of Oceanic 815, which puts this missing piece concurrent with the season 1 episode, House of the Rising Sun. It originally aired on December 17th, 2007, and it was written by Damon Lindelof and directed by Jack Bender. Jack Bender, this is the first time we're talking about him on the podcast as well. Jack Bender is one of the big Lost dudes. He directed a whole bunch of Lost. He did a bunch of Alias. He did The Last Ship. He did a couple of Game of Thrones. Like, he's another solid working TV actor. But most people probably remember him from when he did Falcon Crest back in 1981.
You just have IMDb up right now, don't you? You're going, okay, I got a stall guess there.
No, I guarantee. No, fuck you. He did not pull that from IMDb. I truly believe Busher had that in the recesses of his mind.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Falcon Crest is a great primetime soap opera about a winery, and if you have time to check it out, I recommend you do.
Fuck you. All right. So is this guy only in this little vignette?
No.
I had issues with him, by the way. Like, a lot of issues with this guy from start to finish.
The recap of this missing piece is that just like the missing pieces are between like 1.5 and 3.5 minutes long. This one's like 2.5 minutes long. Sun and Jin are sitting on the beach like doing laundry or something.
Yeah.
And they mention that they see Boone and Shannon off screen arguing about something, and Sun's like, nah, they're brother and sister. And he's like, how do you know that? And she's like, I don't secretly speak English. I don't know. Oops. But then, Arzt walks in and he's all freaking out and he's like losing his mind. Hurley's there too, Hurley and Michael. Why don't you go ahead, Carter? Because we talked about this before we started rolling. Yeah, let's hear your thoughts about Arzt's appearance here.
With Arzt the entire time, first off, I thought he was mighty racist. Just instant, because he does the worst, like, I'm going to slow down and get real loud. And it's like, they don't speak English. That's not going to help them one bit. Also, you bigot. What are you doing?
Not the first time that's happened on this show
either.
Okay.
Yes.
Didn't know that. And then he's going off about Jack and being like, why is Jack in charge? Because he's a doctor? You all want to go to a cave where there's moisture and you can get bacteria and blah, 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 blah. Okay, if he's a doctor, then he's going to know, a cave, that'll get this, and this. And is willing to roll the dice, then roll the fucking dice with him, man. Yes, he's a doctor. Vaccinate your kids. Anyway. Sorry, that was just a PSA I had to drop in there.
Thanks, Carter. Now we just lost our entire anti-vaxxer audience.
Well, God damn it.
Do you know how much ad revenue that's going to cost us?
You know what? If you had waited 6 months, you would have lost him to measles anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Carter with the hot takes.
Oh, man.
This is the Drudge Report. Anyway, those are my issues. It's like, you don't know your ass from your elbow, and you're a bigot, dude. Get off my screen.
But that's the funny thing that I thought, because I was like, you know what? Ours is actually out here asking the hard questions. Why is Jack in charge?
Yes.
Fuck that guy.
I love how he's like, yeah, he's off running around in the woods, very like yada yada yada. I'm like, yes, exactly. That's what I was saying a few episodes ago to like the other people that are doing all the mundane tasks. Like, hey, we gotta like survive on this island, and then there's people fucking running around going, John Locke, the hatch, smoke monsters,
The real heroes of the show are the folks out here fishing. They're out here desalinating water. They're out collecting firewood.
Yes.
They're out picking mangoes.
Yep.
They're doing wash.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really all I had to say about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into the end of the episode segments. Did we like it? Was it good? Let's go to Carter first. I do. This 45 minutes of TV, regardless of anything else you know about Lost, the show. Did you like it? Was it good?
I mean, I did. There was a lot I was missing. Like, anytime, I'm a big fan of a flashback scene when I'm jumping in midstream because, there's a lot of flashback here. I got something I can watch because no one else knows what's going on. Everyone who's watching this is going, why are they calling her Monica? Oh, Nathan Fillion's here. He's not a mainstay on this show, so only seeing him today, that'll be fun. But, the other parts where I could pick up enough. Wasn't a fan of it being on ABC because that sex scene was collarbones up. But
yeah, but those are fucking sexy collarbones.
Man,
I'm just saying.
Why is this on broadcast? I need to see some titties.
Listen, Game of Thrones
ABC,
broke
show me
me,
them
man.
daytime titties.
Game of Thrones ruined me for all other TV sex scenes.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun.
Busher, did you like this episode?
It's a soft yes. I kind of liked the little bit of the present timeline that we got. Obviously there's a lot of context missing here, but you see the kind of pressure that Ben and the others they are exerting on the survivors, and you're seeing the cracks forming or getting worse. And so I was digging on that. Also, we get a little bit of ice from Michael Emerson and from Elizabeth Mitchell. So yeah, the new additions to the cast doing some work here that I really like. So I call it a soft yes because the flashbacks. I said I yet care not about Kate. Yeah, and I don't care.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, right. I think I like this one better than our previous Kate episode.
Sure.
But I think that the stuff that Jack is doing with surgery with Ben does more of the heavy lifting in terms of keeping my attention and my interest. And there's more at stake in this episode. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's fine. It moved along. It kept my attention. I wasn't, this wasn't like our Saeed episode where I was like, fuck yeah, this episode rules.
Fuck yeah.
But it was fine.
All right. Lost MVPs. Let's do it. Your favorite character of the episode, regardless of anything else, any other context. Let's start with Carter. Who is your Lost MVP?
Nathan Fillion. You may have been a terrible police officer doing no research on your wife, but you know what? You're charming as hell and you're pretty dreamy. So you the real MVP.
Busher, your MVP.
I said it before. Alex the Menace. I fucking dig it. She came in. She brought a little spice to the episode, bringing in the heat, firing the slingshot. I don't know why she's there. I don't know what she's doing, but I'm fucking here for it. Alex, I love you. You're great. JP, who's your MVP?
It's got to be Juliet, man. Her eyes are from the land of wind and ghosts. In the age of COVID, where like we're only seeing people from like the bottom of the eyes to the eyebrows, she has eyes that like could calmly convince me to beat my dad to death with a watermelon, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you got it, baby." Shit, look at them baby blues. God damn it.
I mean, you're right. It'll pierce your soul, but still,
you're
Jesus
so
Christ.
right. Lost Forever, the opposite. Who could you have 100% done without? Carter, give it to me.
See, I'm torn. Because there are two names that pop into my head. One is Danny, because he's just, fuck that guy. Murder him in his face tomorrow.
That's very fair.
But at the same point in time, I just didn't like the attitude of that U.S. Marshals officer. Like, he was a bit too big for his britches. She's been on the run. You're terrible at your job because she is calling you and taunting you, and you still haven't caught her? I mean, come on.
I think that's the second time that Eddie Mars makes Lost Forever. I think both times he's appeared on the podcast, he's made Lost Forever.
Adam, Lost Forever.
I'm with Carter on this one, Danny Pickett, but not just because he was annoying, but yet again, something that we've spoken about before and we will continue to speak about. Poor prisoner detention discipline.
Yes.
Bringing his weapons into the cage, and it almost cost him. Mm-hmm. Danny Pickett, figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
JP.
We already touched on this a lot, but the wedding planner that allowed this shit show of a day to fucking... Oh, hey, do you just want everything to be wrong? Yeah, hire Joe Schmo Fucko, who's like... Yeah, I can do wedding planning, who's clearly never attended a human wedding.
I gotta imagine the wedding planner for it just on a fucking billboard in Miami-Dade County somewhere. It's like, weddings 4 or less with a 4 on it, and just like the second S has fallen off of the billboard.
Rent 9 alligators, get your 10th free.
The only other thing that did bother me about the whole wedding thing, there is a legal document that she signed. She's run off. She has run off into the neverwhere. He can't legally get divorced. Take a blood test too. Yeah, he legally can't get divorced though, because he can't get her to sign off on the papers. He's now screwed and can't get married to someone else. He can't find true love.
Burning questions. Your favorite question raised by this specific episode that did not get answered that you hope would be answered later. Carter, did you have one?
The damn cages of why do you... I get when it was built, maybe it was built for a wild animal that couldn't get out through there. The minute you put people in that cage, you put a goddamn piece of plywood on the roof of those cages because your prisoners are gonna get the goddamn fuck out.
So your burning question is
why aren't the roofs on the cages?
I don't know if that's going to get answered in another episode, but good question nonetheless.
Listen, it was literally the only thing. And how is Nathan Fillion going to get this annulled or divorced? But
I had a real burning question, and it was just Pickett mentioned something about Jack not being on Jacob's list. We talked a little bit about Jacob back when we watched Man Behind the Curtain. What is Jacob's list? That's what I would love to know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Carter, thank you for joining us so much.
I'm glad to be here. It was fun.
Yeah, we would love to have you back in the future if you're down to be back. We'll bring you on for another Nathan Fillion episode.
Yeah. Wait, there's more Nathan Fillion episodes?
There's no other Nathan Fillion episodes. I'm sorry.
Is there other dreamboats who are kind of B-list celebrities? Maybe C-list celebrities?
100%. We'll bring you back for the hottest B-list celebrity guest spot episode.
Yes.
For the audience at home, if you are trying to be lost with us, please check out our next episode. We will be talking about season 2, episode 5. ... and found.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Lost on Lost.
I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on the show?
Nope.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by Adam Busher and JP Russell.
Recorded on location in Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Los Angeles, California.
Our show is hosted at Podbean. Find us there or wherever you find your podcasts.
Thanks to Danny Schmitz of Lost in a Name for our theme music.
Lostpedia and the community of contributors there.
Random.org for creating the watch order.
Check out our Facebook page, Lost on Lost, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at Lost on Lost 1.
Don't follow those jerks at Lost on Lost 2.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com. If you like what we're getting into here, buy us a coffee at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
That's ko-fi.com/wearelostonlost.